Friday, May 8th, I think. Fuck, let me look. Yeah, May 8th, 2020. What the fuck? So, yeah. Shit's just getting crazier, right? This is the Bulldog Unchained podcast. I'm your host, the King of Villains, Bulldog Malenko. This is 30 minutes of mayhem. It's probably going to go over because, there's apparently a bunch of questions for this week. Yeah. I'm just trying to piece where I want to begin. I'm a bit distracted right now. You ever try to be nice to someone who you really don't have any reason to be nice to, and it still just blows up in your face? Like, oh my fucking God. You know what? I'm going to leave this motherfucker recording. I'm going to grab a beer real quick. It's just right here. I'm not leaving you. I'll grab a couple beers. Fuck it. We're gonna make it a fucking party. Okay. Yeah. The joys of having a mini fridge in the studio. So, God damn. I'm going to get to these questions here shortly, but I'm not really on any time constraint, am I? I mean, how many times have I said 30 minutes of mayhem and this show will fucking go an hour just for me answering questions? So, I got some shit I want to say, and I'm fucking say it. But it's amazing to me too that there are people who think that they can treat other people however they feel like it. But when the target lashes back at them and they dish out some truth on them, they don't like that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is sociopathic narcissistic behavior. Okay? These people get bent out of shape when they're hit with truths about themselves. They have no problem saying whatever fucked up shit they want to say to anyone. But the moment someone snaps back on them, they play the victim. And yeah, I am so fucking sick of that behavior. So I've just decided to eliminate those kinds of people from my life. And apparently that causes issues as well. But they'll get over it eventually, or they won't. Either way, I won't be around to see the end result, so I don't give a shit. All right. So we're going to dive into these questions, in which it looks like the majority are from Gag On at Glenda. The whole reason I didn't do a show last week was I posted up the status and 2 people asked questions. 2. I had 2 questions and I was like, well, fuck, I could answer this question for you without doing the show. I'm not doing the show. So I didn't. But this week was a little bit better. So we're going to jump right into these. Gag On at Glenda first asks, would you rather fight 100 hamster-sized hippos or 1 hippo-sized hamster? I'm going to take the 100 hamster-sized hippos because I got boots. And if them little fuckers act up, like a hamster-sized hippo could actually be pretty cute. And even though they are hyper-aggressive, I mean, what's he really going to do? What are you going to do? Calm down, you little fuck. And if you get too unruly, I got boots. I will waffle stomp your ass. So, yeah, we'll take 100 hamster-sized hippos. Gag On at Glenda again. What should we get our mothers for Mother's Day? Vibrators, lingerie, I don't know. Show your mom that you really care about her. Get her something she's gonna use. Like, come on, let's face facts. If you are an adult and you're getting a gift for your mother, chances are, if she's having sex, it's very rare. You know, it's few and far between for these acts, unless you got like super freak parents, in which case, good for them, and you should be happy for them. Look, I know it's gross to think about your parents having sex, but you should be happy for them, because that's pretty fucking awesome and rare. But yeah, get your mom a vibrator. You know, buy her a big fucking vibrating schmacky. Get her that triple pronged one, the one that goes in her butt, in her vagina, and then has the little thing that sits on her clit too. Jesus Christ, that'll send her into orbit. Okay? Fuck yeah. Show the people that you love that you care about them. And get some lingerie. Maybe she doesn't want a vibrator. Maybe she wants the man in her life, whether it be your dad, your stepdad, or her boyfriend, whatever it is. She wants, or whoever. She wants that person to just like be sparked. Get her some lingerie. Get her a gift certificate to a fucking adult store. There you go. Let her go pick her own thing out. You don't have to make it embarrassing. You know, if it's going to be too embarrassing for you to buy your mom a vibrator or a big schmacky, whatever, you know, give her a gift certificate to an adult store. Just, if she invites you to go with her, you probably want to decline, because you're what would have been enough if you bought a vibrator and saw happiness and excitement on her face. That's probably going to be too much information. But if you go sex toy shopping with your mom, that's going to be way too much information. All right. Gag on it, Glenda, again. Have you ever thought about the fact that your nipples are older than your teeth? Well, I am now, and that's really fucking weird. God damn it. What is going on? Her next question. Oh, this is important. Who is Canadian Jesus, and why should I fear him smiting me? So look, I have to explain this. So I have to actually get away from the questions list, and I have to go to my post from yesterday, because I'm going to tell you what I did. Oh, God. It just started as an errant comment on a friend's status. And so I made a status on my profile, and I said, I just left this as a comment on a friend's status and felt it deserved its own spotlight. Because she was talking about being, I guess it was like a secret joy, or like that forbidden happiness or whatever, you know, like just a secret thing she was excited about. She was talking about singing Nickelback in the car. And my response was, look, I know that it's fun to bash Nickelback. I do it too. But the reality is, when you hear "This Is How You Remind Me," you may resist at first, but once that chorus kicks in, the spirit of Canadian Jesus, Chad Kroeger, grabs hold of you, and you sing that shit for everything you're worth. Well, because of that post, then all of these things started popping in my head about Canadian Jesus. So I found a picture of Chad Kroeger. You guys can actually go onto the Bulldog Unchained Facebook page and see these memes that I have created for you, the world. And I then made another post after that one, and I shared that song, Nickelback, How You Remind Me. And I said, I have just formulated a theory from further discussion with someone. This is the song that can save humanity. This is the song that can unite 7 billion people. But in order for this prophecy to come true, Canadian Jesus, Chad Kroeger, must sacrifice himself for us. And as he draws his final breath, he'll let out one last scream for all of humanity. Are we having fun yet? And I don't feel bad about this. But yeah, so I made a meme, and it's just this picture of Chad Kroeger when he had long hair, and he's just smiling. And it says, Canadian Jesus loves you. And then I made others that say, are we having fun yet? Give your heart to Canadian Jesus. Look at this photograph of our Lord and Savior, Canadian Jesus. Someday, somehow, Canadian Jesus is going to make it all right, but not right now. And if you're listening to this and you get these jokes and you're groaning, but you're still laughing and smiling, then my fucking job is done. Okay. I made another one that said, if you made it out with clothing still on your back, give thanks to Canadian Jesus. There's another one that's Canadian Jesus. He is a leader of men. Canadian Jesus wants to rip people's hearts out just for hurting you. And then this is probably the best one. Canadian Jesus thinks you're so much cuter with something in your mouth. Fuck yeah. And then my buddy Russ, who sometimes has questions for the show, and he is a longtime supporter, he made one using the same picture, and it says, feeling way too damn good? Better thank Canadian Jesus. Fuck yes. I love it. This thing is, it has life breathed into it now. It's taking on a life of its own. So gag on it, Glinda. The reason why you should fear him smiting you, well, just take a look at how progressively worse each year is getting and look at what this year has done. Could it be such a bad idea to maybe give your heart to Canadian Jesus so we can end this never-ending fucked up game of Jumanji that somebody left unfinished? Like, what is going on? They've announced Murder Hornets for May. Things are just getting out of control at this point, I feel. Let's see. I got to get back to the questions here. Okay. So yeah, give your heart to Canadian Jesus. Like, he is our Lord and Savior. And look, honestly, I have been one of those people that bashed Nickelback all to shit. But the reality is, and I don't really care for their last few albums or whatever, but you go back to 2001 and you listen to that album, Silver Side Up. That album's fucking badass. Musically, lyrically, it's pretty fucking awesome. And that's just my opinion of it. You can agree with me or be wrong. All right. So, her next question: do you think aliens now look at Earth like the movie Jurassic Park? I think that aliens look at Earth the way white people who took the wrong exit and end up like in really shitty neighborhoods of Detroit look at that. Like, aliens lock their doors when they fly by Earth, and they're like, we'll get fuel at the next planet. We'll risk it. I'd rather die out here coasting on fumes than to stop there in the fucking Alabama of the universe. Next question. Gag on it, Glinda. Besides myself, what is the best fun-sized thing to eat? Well, I can't attest to that, Glinda, because I've never eaten you. But I would have to say that pussy in general is the most fun thing to eat, like the best fun-sized thing to eat. Like, that's, come on. What's more fun to eat than pussy? Well, I don't know. Steak's pretty good. Maybe if I cook a rare steak and then like squeeze the shit out of it and drip the juice on a pussy. But steaks also aren't fun-sized. So, well, that's not true either. I mean, fun-sized is just a perspective, isn't it? And if I have a gigantic steak on my plate, I'm having fun. Like, I'm having a legit good time. The only time, like, I don't think even when people overcook and they do a steak like almost well, I don't think I've ever had a bad time eating steak. Like, it's maybe not as enjoyable as it could be, but, you know, it's still steak. Gag on it, Glinda. People will always say stuff about their relationship like the magic is gone from the relationship. But if they don't believe in magic, was it ever really there to begin with? And what kind of magic? Dark, necromancy, earth, etc.? Well, I mean, you know, Maybe they don't believe in magic, but we'll just equate that to spark. And the reason that happens is because this is typically what happens in monogamous relationships, especially once you live together. People just take each other for granted for the most part. And what are once considered primary needs and goals and objectives for both people just become, oh, that can wait. That can sit on the back burner. Oh, it's fine. We'll get to that. And then resentment builds and, through neglect. And, that kind of ties into what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. If you ignore someone in your life when they repeatedly try to get your attention and try to make contact with you, and you ignore and ignore and ignore and ignore, and then when you're finally ready to come back around and get their attention and they don't have any attention to give you, or the attention that they give you isn't what you wanted. Instead of giving you that attention you want, they give you the attention of, I'm tired of this bullshit and tired of wasting my time on you. And that's what happens. And that's one of the big reasons, there's a lack of communication. People don't communicate. Marriage is at almost a 60% divorce rate? That's not an accident, you fucks. And I know that everybody that falls in love thinks that they're the special case and nobody's ever loved like this before. No, our love is different. I've never felt this before. Yeah, you have. You just forgot it because it got so washed out with the negative emotions of neglect, resentment, and fucking stress. And then what was once wonderful was poisoned. It was spoiled. It became rotten. And probably you both stayed in it far too long once it turned rotten, and that definitely outweighed the good that was once there. So, that's what happens with magic. It is kind of magical if you think about it. Even if you don't believe in magic, you kind of got to go, wow, that really is magical. Because every single bit of this shit comes from our fucking brains, which is essentially a bag of meat that produces electricity somehow. Crazy, right? It's not even a bag of meat. It's like a bag of Jell-O. Like a little fucking Jell-O mold that emits electricity and computes electrical impulses. Fucking nuts. Humans are weird. All right, AJ. When you have a customer at your desk and you let a nasty-ass silent fart go and the customer takes blame, is it acceptable to let them claim the ungodly odor? What I would do is if I farted, I would wait an appropriate amount of time for, let's say 15, 20 seconds. And as soon as I see any semblance in their face, that recognition that you get, that, oh, it just hit them, you do it at the same time and go, oh man, was that you? What is that? Because the first one that comments, now you can't say, oh my God, you farted. No, you have to let the acknowledgement it has to show up on their face. But then you just ask, oh, was that you? What is that? Oh my God. Whew. Okay, you got to give me a second. I need to step away from this desk or something. Yeah, that's how you handle that. But yeah, it's always acceptable to allow someone to take the blame. Fuck yeah. Gag on it, Glinda. What do you imagine it's like inside my sober brain versus my drunk brain? I can sum this up very clearly. Your sober brain is Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. Your drunk brain is Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty being ass-fucked by Mr. Meeseeks. That clear that up for you? I've experienced both, your sober and your drunk brain, and I think that that's about the best analogy that I can come up with. Gag on it, Glinda. What happens to your penis if stung by a murder hornet? Speaking of what comes next after the murder hornets. Okay, so first question. what happens to your penis if you're stung by a murder hornet? Are you asking if my dick is stung by a murder hornet? Like, if I don't gain some kind of fucking superpower from that, I'm probably going to kill myself. If I just get stung, well, I don't really know. Like, if I just get stung like the arm or something, I don't know what happens. I mean, I hope my penis is okay. I know that shit affects your neuroreceptors, though. Like, it shuts your fucking nervous system down getting stung by those little bastards. So, I mean, you might be debilitated for a short while, but yeah, I mean, that could be bad. As for the second question, what comes next after murder hornets? Well, in June, I have good inside information that chainsaw bears will be released. Motherfucking bears with motherfucking chainsaws for motherfucking hands. It's legit. I saw it on a news source online, so I know it's true. You know, kind of like them telling us that masks will, you know, prevent the spread of COVID-19, which, you know, if that's the case, well, if the masks work, why can't businesses be open? And if they don't work, what's the hysteria with wanting everyone to wear them? I have questions. I can't just take what people say and just do something because someone told me to. I can't. All right. Chainsaw bears. Chainsaw fucking bears are coming. Gag on it, Glenda. If we run out of meat, do we go straight to eating humans, or should we try eating horses, dogs, cats, llamas, etc. first? Well, I mean, if we run out of meat, I know where cow farms are, and I know where deer live. Like I'm an experienced hunter. I know how to hunt rabbits. You know, I can hunt. So, but if the animals start becoming, you know, scarce, well then, yeah, slow ass human beings aren't going to be a challenge at all. And I know that some of you may be thinking, but Bulldog, you're a big fat guy, so, you know, what if somebody tries to get you? And I'm like, well, you just better be quicker on the trigger than I am and hungrier. Like, a lot of people are not going to ever pursue cannibalism as a resource. And I simply just look at it as, oh, well, this meat source is gone now, so this is what I have. And I will absolutely hunt you fucks. I don't care. I will shoot you. I will grill you. I will eat you. I will fucking slow roast you on a turning spigot over a fucking open flame. And if I can find an apple, I'll put it in your mouth. No fucks given. Gag on it, Glenda again. They've discovered COVID-19 in the semen of survivors. Does this mean their penis has to wear a mask? Where did you see that they've discovered COVID-19 in the semen of survivors? That's funny. God damn it. I really kind of wish I was getting my man whore on now. Yeah. I'd be spreading that COVID so goddamn fast. I'm pretty certain that I had this shit in January. I think it was like the first week of February. Before the whole fucking explosion of this, I thought I was going to die. I really did. I was like, fuck, this sucks. I had to sit up against the wall at night to sleep. Like, I couldn't lay down because I couldn't fucking breathe right. And it was awful. But yet here I am, still your glorious leader of the fucking coming apocalypse and the last savage and voice of the wasteland. So you're welcome. But I'm tougher than most. So, as far as a dick wearing a mask, I mean, I assume that's what a condom is. Whatever. Condom, dick mask. Gag on it, Glenda. What's the first thing you want to do once quarantine is over? Why would you even have to ask this question? My dick is so neglected by everything other than my hand right now, it feels like it's being punished. Okay? Literally, the first thing I want to do when quarantine is over is fuck. And may Canadian Jesus have mercy on whichever poor woman's soul that turns out to be. Okay? Like, anybody listening, any of you girls that listen to this show who have ever contemplated what sex would be like with Bulldog, this would be the one that you want to experience, or maybe not, depending on the level of violence that you're into with your sex, because I'm just going to let you know that this is going to be brutal. Like, real fucking bad. And it's definitely not going to be a one-rounder. Like, as soon as I bust that first load, just keep sucking me. Keep me hard. I'll let you know when round two's ready. And we can fucking man the cannons. I want to fuck. The last time I got laid was like the 3rd week of March. Okay? That's the last time I got laid. This is May. That was March. This is May. There was a whole fucking month in between there. That's 6 fucking weeks. 6 weeks since I've had sex. That is goddamn unacceptable. Unacceptable. And that's one thing that a lot of you people who are quarantining, but you got someone in your house with you, you're not considering. Like, there are some of us who are suffering through this fucking quarantine. I don't care about the businesses opening up. I care about women's legs opening up. Because daddy needs to fuck. Oh, god damn it. I'm telling, dude, this first, that first fucking sexual encounter, whichever woman experiences this, it's going to be life altering. And it might be traumatizing, and she might need to consider therapy after. I mean, most women who have sex with me need to consider therapy anyway, but this is different. There's a whole lot, and yeah, my phone's yelling pork chop sandwiches at me, and there's a whole lot of pent up anger and frustration and rage anyway at a situation that I had to deal with for the past few weeks, over the past month. And yeah, so hey girl, come get it. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna regret ever agreeing to do this shit. And if you are a girl listening to this, and I get most of you women, you think you're freaky. You think that, I'm a freak in bed. No, you're not. You're really not. You really are just vanilla, basic fucking Starbucks bitch of sex. Okay? And I'm not saying that to be hurtful. I'm not saying that to fucking bring you down. I'm just telling you, you think you're freaky until you meet a dude that's fucking freaky and is going to do awful fucking things to you. So, yeah. If you are one of those women and you are super vanilla and boring in bed, and I know that you think you're not, but you really need to analyze this before you try to contact me trying to make this reservation for this particular load, or these loads that are coming for that first encounter, because you're not going to be able to handle that. Like, you would need to wait until I've at least been able to fuck for like 3 weeks to a month after this quarantine shit's over, and then I can get back to the norm. Like, yeah, I can be a little bit gentler in the beginning. Like, yeah, no, there is going to be nothing gentle about what happens the first time I get to fuck after quarantine's lifted. Nothing. It's whew. All right, that's enough about that. I'm getting all fucking worked up, and I'm getting angry. Jimmy, which animal do you see yourself riding when the savage land becomes real? I imagine that I will probably be riding an elephant. I mean, doesn't that suit me? I mean, it'll be a big ass fucking war elephant. Like, this motherfucker, I have armor on it and shit. And I'll mount machine guns. Like, I'll mount miniguns on the side of this motherfucker. Maybe even some Stinger missiles and shit. Yeah. That's the Bulldog apocalypse animal right there. Jimmy, do you think your CIA handlers would hate you if you just put your asshole over your phone's camera for an hour straight? Okay, so where this question stems from, today I made a post on Facebook that said, I sometimes like to fuck with my CIA handlers, and when I'm watching porn and jerking off, like when I'm watching porn on my phone and jerking off, when I finish, I will look dead into the camera of my phone and be like, was it good for you guys too? Or, whew, daddy is fucking spent. How about you guys? Like, yeah, I honestly, and yes, I am serious. I do these things. And yes, I hope that whoever my CIA handlers are, I hope that they've gone through so many because of the levels of suicide that have happened from them having to watch me just mercilessly beat my fucking junk, especially in this quarantine. I bet they've gone through at least 7 different agents trying to monitor me at this point, because 6 to 10 times a day that they have to observe this through my phone's camera. They gotta be like, oh my God, he's doing it again. I can't be. And then imagine these dudes like try to go home and fuck their wife or their girlfriend or whatever, and they're like, I'm sorry, I can't right now. There's some heavy shit going on at work. Yeah. But would they hate me if I put my butthole over the camera, over my phone camera for an hour straight? I don't know. I guess it depends on what kind of agent I get. I mean, maybe they stick me with the freak named Dave who just, decides all of a sudden like, wow, he's got a really great butthole. And then there ends up like, then I have to think about the thought that for an hour there's some CIA handler sitting in a fucking room somewhere jerking off to my asshole, which is flattering but still kind of unnerving at the same time. So yeah, I don't know if they'd hate me. They'd probably laugh, because eventually I'm gonna fart, so it's gonna look like my ass is literally blowing kisses at them. Maybe, I don't know. I don't look at my asshole. Jimmy, are all women's nipples good, or do you have preferences on sizes? I mean, I can't deal with like inch long nipples or so. That's just weird. Like something's wrong. What happened there? I don't know that, but like for the most part, like big areolas, little areolas, big nipples, little nipples, like whatever. But yeah, the actual nipples that stick out like an inch, it just looks like a fucking dog's chew toy. That's weird. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. Maybe I am. I don't know. That's weird. Go get that looked at. Go get that taken care of. Like, there could be something wrong. Okay? Because you shouldn't have inch-long nipples. All right? That's fucking crazy. Jimmy, what does level 6 and 7 hold for Apocalypse Jumanji? First wave, chainsaw bears. Like I said, we're getting chainsaw bears. I have that from a good source. All right? Wave 7, I think that's when the body swap happens. Like for the month of July, like you literally, like as soon as you like bump into somebody or give someone a hug, you just swap bodies, and then everybody's freaking out, and yeah, it's going to be a huge mess. I can't wait for that one. Gag on it, Glinda. What's the truth behind Atlantis? Well, you said truth. There's not really any truth. We know that Plato mentions it, but the person that he heard it from was talking about an event that happened 9,000 years prior. Well, that's about the last time that the Earth experienced a major cataclysm and coming out of the last ice age. So it's very possible. And the Earth over this, 11,000 years now has changed drastically. So something could have sank. A continent could have sank to the ocean floor. And because of the plate movement and everything, maybe it got crushed, crumbled, absorbed. Like, who knows? I've looked into plate tectonics and the movements, and it's just one of those who knows, right? Like, I don't think we'll ever get to know whether Atlantis existed or not. I mean, look, we know that thousands of civilizations have existed on this planet that we've discovered bare remnants of that have no resemblance to any others that we know of, but we don't have enough information about them to know anything about these people. That's fucking weird. Graham Hancock said it, we're a species with amnesia. Modern day anatomical man has existed between 250 and 300,000 years, and about every 10 to 12,000 years a major cataclysm happens on this planet. We get wiped out and have to start over. So, just, we'll say generously, that shit now has happened about 15 to 20 times to our species that we've had to start over. And we don't know anything about ourselves. And people are like, well, no, if they were advanced civilizations, we would know what they had and blah, blah, blah. Let me point this out to you morons. Most of the research and data that we have today is held on servers, which function on electricity. If a massive meteor were to hit this planet, or there were any kind of massive EMP, electromagnetic pulse, burst on this planet, and it shut down our entire electrical grid, guess what's lost? All of that information. Nothing electronic is going to work. It's all gone. All gone. And these people are going to die out faster than this information can be recorded down on paper again. Oh, wait, how are you going to make paper? That's right, you can't, because we don't have electricity anymore. There's not going to be paper mills running. Paper's going to run out, and eventually people are going to use that shit to keep warm. They're going to have to burn books. They're going to have to burn all this shit to stay warm. Because let's face it, there are not that many super duper smart people on this planet. And after 50 years, after this next cataclysm happens, it's going to look like idiocracy on this planet. There's going to be a bunch of dumbasses around pointing around at all of the great buildings that are left going, look what we did. Yeah, we did this, man. We made that happen. And someone else is going to go, but like a kid is going to be like, but how? Well, we can't really remember how we did it now. Like all that information and technology's lost. And there's your explanation for like why we don't know anything about the Egyptians. We don't know anything. The fucking pyramids. And why are there pyramids all over the fucking planet? Oh, they were probably a power source, right? They were all interconnected. So, I mean, it's safe to assume that there could have been a continent called Atlantis. Something drastically bad happened. Because the story is, in a night, that entire continent was swallowed by the sea. Hey, man. Shit happens, yeah. All right. And let's see what we got here. Oh, Jimmy's next question. When Earth decides it's time for another extinction level event, do you think the next civilization will do any better than the current one? No, I think what'll happen is just what I said. It'll be a reset. There'll be a bunch of dumbasses, and then slowly over the course of thousands of years, again. What I'm proposing is there were civilizations tens of thousands of years ago that were just as advanced as we are now, but there is and I'm not saying exactly the same. I'm saying that maybe they figured out how to store information in the trees. We don't fucking know. We don't goddamn know. Because trees and bushes and plants and stuff function off of a root structure, and they can actually communicate with each other. And we know that plants and trees can emit feelings for each other. These are measurable impulses through their root structures. How do you know that you couldn't figure out a way to exploit that to hold and harness information and be able to use nature as a type of computer? But then all of a sudden these fucks are all wiped out and nobody knows how to do it anymore. And you've got a few like Native American tribes and you got South American tribes and stuff like that they worship nature, right? But now modern day people make fun of them because we have computers that hold all this information. Meanwhile, the next time the extinction level event happens, these native people that worship nature will still have their connection to nature, and the connection that we have to our technology will be wiped the fuck out. So, yeah, I am of the, I can't say belief, but I am of the high probable ideology that there have been multiple societies before ours that reached massive levels. How do we know massive levels of technology? How do we know that people fucking 100,000 years ago didn't figure out how to get the fuck off of this planet? How do we know? We don't fucking know. We don't know shit. How do you know? How do you people know that Stonehenge wasn't a goddamn launch pad? Can you prove to me that it wasn't? What if that was some kind of fucking launch pad for a goddamn spaceship? Do we know? No, we don't. And what if these people that made it off this planet 100,000 years ago are the ones that have come back periodically, and they've changed now because of whatever new environment they're in, and they've changed slightly, but they've come back to try to help, but not really. Like, they pretty much just like playing with everybody's buttholes now. So maybe that isolation on a faraway planet has made them weird. Or maybe they know something we don't. Like, maybe rubbing someone's prostate gland, that's like the best greeting ever, and we're just super uptight and prudish about it and not accepting to their ways. Who knows? Maybe we're missing out, right? All right. And then the last question. Why, Gag On it, Glenda, why do people use rolled up dollar bills to smell mirrors? I don't know, but everyone that I've ever seen use a rolled up dollar bill to smell a mirror, they become real fucking happy, real fucking quick, and they have a lot of ideas that they think are great, and they're usually not. So, I don't know. I myself have never smelled a mirror with a rolled up dollar bill, so I can't attest to its power or lack thereof. So, yeah. Well, that's it for this week. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a show this Sunday. I don't know yet. It's Mother's Day, so like nobody can make it because they all have mothers. So, that being said, everybody have a good weekend. Take care of yourself. May the power of Canadian Jesus watch over you and you bathe in his glory. Okay? This is the Bulldog Unchained podcast. I'm your host, King of Villains, Bulldog Malik. Oh, this has been 30 Minutes of Mayhem. Bitch.
Show's over, motherfuckers.